You have been slowly disappearing. Not dramatically, not all at once. Bit by bit, word by word, yes by yes, you have been erasing yourself to make other people comfortable. And you called it kindness. You softened your opinions. You swallowed your boundaries. You made yourself smaller, quieter, easier, and wondered why people stopped taking you seriously. Why the relationships felt hollow. Why you wake up tired before the day even begins. Here is the truth no one told you. People don't respect what they cannot feel resistance from. The Stoics built a philosophy around this exact problem, and their solution is nothing like what the modern world sells you. Stay until the end. Because the 10th principle is the one that reframes every relationship, every interaction, every version of yourself you've ever performed, and it cannot be unsaid once you hear it. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal, a document he never intended for anyone else to read. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Not, adjust your truth to fit the room. Not, soften your position so no one feels uncomfortable. Not, be agreeable so people will like you. Anchor yourself in what is right. Let everything else follow from that. Epictetus, born into Roman slavery, owning nothing, controlling nothing about his physical circumstances, built his entire philosophy on a single axis. No man is free who is not master of himself. Read that in full context. He was a slave saying this, which means he understood something that free men in palaces were missing entirely. External freedom means nothing without internal sovereignty. And internal sovereignty cannot be built on the approval of whoever happens to be standing in front of you. Seneca watched this play out across the Roman Senate for decades. Brilliant men, powerful men, men who commanded armies and wrote legislation, psychologically owned by the need to be seen favorably. Bending their positions, softening their truths, trading their integrity one accommodation at a time. He wrote to a friend, retire into yourself as much as you can, not as a prescription for isolation, as a warning. He was saying, build something inside yourself that does not require the outside world to validate it, because a man who needs constant external confirmation has no true interior. He is hollow at the center, and people feel that hollowness even when they cannot name it. This is the foundation. Inner solidity, not warmth, not performance, not strategic likability. Solidity. Here is what chronic niceness looks like from the outside, specifically from the perspective of someone with predatory social intelligence. It looks like an open door. The person who never says no is immediately cataloged, not as kind, as available, as manageable, as someone whose boundaries can be tested, then pushed, then dissolved entirely because they have demonstrated repeatedly that discomfort will not produce resistance. This is not cynical speculation. It is documented behavioral psychology. People who consistently prioritize others' comfort over their own truth are disproportionately targeted by narcissistic personalities, not because those personalities are calculating, but because they are instinctively drawn to environments where friction is absent. No friction means no consequence. No consequence means no limit. There is a more subtle exploitation that operates in ordinary relationships, with colleagues, family members, even friends. It is called approval dependency harvesting. It works like this. Someone learns that your emotional state is contingent on their reaction, so they modulate that reaction to manage your behavior. A withdrawal of warmth produces compliance. A return of approval rewards it. Over time, you are trained without a single explicit demand being made. You think you are choosing to be accommodating. You are responding to conditioning. Epictetus identified this trap with surgical precision. He divided all of human experience into two categories: what is up to you and what is not up to you. And he noticed that people who had never made this distinction clearly were spending the majority of their energy, their finest daily energy, trying to influence what belongs in the second column. Other people's opinions, their reactions, their approval, their judgment. None of it is yours to control. All of it is being treated as your primary project. And while you exhaust yourself managing other people's impressions of you, your actual column, your values, your choices, your character, goes largely unattended. Here is how you reclaim the territory. Step 1. Stop over-explaining. Run an audit on your language for the next 72 hours. Notice how often you add justification to sentences that were already complete. I can't make it is a full sentence. Everything you add after it is a request for permission. The Stoics spoke with economy because they had done the internal work of knowing their reasons. You don't owe anyone a narrative. State your position. Stop. Step 2. Divide your energy into 2 strict columns. Write this down physically. Column 1. Your opinions, your values, your choices, your response to events. Column 2. Other people's reactions, their judgments, whether they approve. Make a rule, non-negotiable, that you will only spend energy on column 1. Not because column 2 doesn't hurt, but because working on column 2 is categorically impossible and working on column 1 is always available. Every time you catch yourself auditing how you came across, return to column 1. What was your intention? Was it aligned with your values? That is the only relevant question. Step 3. Practice the deliberate no. Not the apologetic no. Not the no wrapped in 5 sentences of softening. A no delivered cleanly from values without drama. Start small. One situation this week where something conflicts with what you actually stand for, and you decline it without over-explaining why. Notice what happens. Observe that the world does not end. Observe, more importantly, how you feel immediately after, because most people who try this for the first time report something unexpected. Not guilt. Relief. Step 4. Weaponize silence. Most people are so uncomfortable with silence that they fill it compulsively, qualifying, joking, softening, backtracking. The person who can hold silence in a charged moment controls that moment entirely. Marcus Aurelius called this the view from above, the ability to step back from any situation and assess it without the urgency that proximity creates. From that elevation, most of what you feel pressure to say is unnecessary. Practice sitting with the discomfort of unsaid words. The composure that builds from this practice is visible. People feel it before they understand it. Step 5. Own your nature without apology. Not your mistakes. Those deserve direct acknowledgement. But your nature, the way you're wired, your need for solitude, your directness, your intensity, your particular way of moving through the world. Epictetus was blunt. Seneca was relentless. Marcus Aurelius was a philosopher-emperor who wrote private journals about virtue while governing an empire. None of them performed a softened version of themselves for easier acceptance. Stop performing. The shape of who you actually are is not a defect to man. Nature is what you came for. The 10th principle. The one that contains all the others. The most psychologically powerful thing a human being can be. The thing that commands respect without demanding it. That draws people in without chasing them, that leaves a mark long after the conversation ends, is complete, not perfect, not finished, not without wounds or contradictions or unresolved questions. Complete, genuinely engaged in your own becoming, rooted enough to be honest, secure enough to be kind without needing it returned, strong enough to be gentle without losing anything in the transaction. You have spent years, possibly decades, trying to be easier to be around, trying to reduce the friction you create, trying to make yourself a softer landing for everyone else. And the devastating irony is this: the people who left the deepest mark on your life were never the ones who made themselves easy. They were the ones who were undeniably themselves, who held their ground, who told you the truth when it was uncomfortable, whose presence felt like standing near something that could not be moved. That is not a personality type. That is a practice. It is built one honest choice at a time. One unfinished sentence left unfinished. One boundary held without performance. One silence chosen over noise. You have already been walking this road longer than you know. The only question the Stoics ever asked, the question Marcus Aurelius asked himself every single morning before the empire touched him, was whether you have been walking in the right direction. Start now. Not with a declaration. With one honest choice. That is where it begins, and it never really stops.